Okay guys, so continuing with our recursive sequences here, we have two commonly seen recursive sequences up top, and we have seen really both of these just as our regular equations or explicit formulas. The first is an arithmetic sequence. My highlighter looks a little bit weird. Why don't I change that for us? Here we go. All right, so arithmetic sequence is when we add to get to the next term, and a geometric sequence is when we multiply to get to the next term. And we went over in previous lessons how to find either the common difference, which is what we're adding, or the common ratio, which is what we're multiplying. So we're going to try these out down here. It says first determine if the sequence is arithmetic or geometric, and then write the recursive sequence. So this first one, looking at it, we can definitely see that the terms get bigger here. And I like to check arithmetic first. That's just usually a little quicker. So we would check by subtracting the first term from the second. So if we do 13 minus 3, we would get 10. And if I tried the third, 23 minus 13, we would also get 10. So since the subtraction works, we know that it's arithmetic, and that we are adding 10 to every term to get to the next one. So once we know what type it is, we can really just fill it in to this formula, or you can think how you start with one term and get another. So AN is what we'll call our sequence. That's just the notation for sequences, equals, remember, AN minus 1 is essentially a term in the sequence that always sticks together. So to get from one term to another, I need to add 10 to it, and that would be my equation for this sequence. All right, so for the second one, we now need to figure out if this is arithmetic or geometric. And just looking at this, right, if I think about what I'd have to add to get from 16 to 40, I think that would be 24, right? That is not the same to get from 40 to 100. So I know right away that this is not arithmetic, but we're going to check if it is geometric, and I'm going to say geo question mark, and we check that by dividing any term by the term before. So I'm going to grab my calculator, we'll get a decimal. So if I do 40 divided by 16, I'll get 2.5, and I'm going to try that with one more term. If I do 100 divided by 40, I also get 2.5, so we're looking pretty good. So that means that this is a geometric sequence, and that we would have to multiply by 2.5 to get to the next term. So to write this out as an arithmetic or as a recursive rule, we'll have AN, and we can really use this formula above if we want to, equals, you take any term, so AN minus 1, and multiply it by 2.5, which is our ratio. And notice I switched my order around. They have A1 and R first up here, but doesn't matter. So that would be our rule for this one. All right, guys, so I think that's all I'm going to do a video on. I think that the practice you guys should try out, and if you want help with that, that's something that we can do in class or on Zoom or in any other way. You can always email me or comment on Classroom.